They do look like they could have been out of a packet. Hi, I'm Connor. Libby's behind the camera. Today we're in St Katharine's Dock to try one of the most affordable afternoon teas in central London. So we're here at Café Rouge, one of the last remaining Café Rouges in London, we recently found out. The afternoon tea here, the traditional afternoon tea, is, I believe, £22.45 per person, which is very reasonable for slap bang in the middle of central London. We're literally like a 30-second walk from Tower Bridge, so kind of as central as it can get.
It's not the cleanest, is what I would say. Like, the table's not particularly clean. There's sort of some sugar left over on the table from the last customers, but it's fairly peaceful. We've got nice views. All the staff have been really nice, so yeah, not too bad.
So there are actually two different types of afternoon tea at Café Rouge. There's the traditional one, and Café Rouge with a twist afternoon tea, which is more features more like French-inspired treats like camembert and things like that. But today we're trying their traditional one. So we're starting with the croque monsieur, which is like a kind of like a cheese toasted sandwich, but with mushrooms inside. Quite a different approach to like the standard afternoon tea, but like I love it. I love an afternoon tea with a twist. It's also nice to start with something like warm. So yeah, let's try and see.
One thing I would say, it's got a very like hard crust on it, which I don't know if it's been slightly overdone. All the cheese is really nice, and like you said, like it's nice to start with something warm as opposed to just a cold sandwich. Like maybe it's something they should introduce into other afternoon teas, having a bit of a toasty vibe. I do quite like that.
So I've just finished the first half of my croque monsieur. I would say it's pretty decent. You know, it's very lots of like bechamel sauce, like very cheesy. Just kind of like quite a standard toasted sandwich, to be honest. Like I wouldn't say it's blown my mind, but it's like a really nice way to start a meal, to be honest. Like no, never going to knock a sort of croque monsieur. It's scone time, everyone. We have an avid subscriber who likes to keep telling us that you're supposed to break scones with your hand, like crumble them apart. I cannot do that. I will not do it. So I'm going to cut mine with a knife. Apologies. So first impressions. I don't know if these are like freshly baked. They did come out warm, but I would say they do look like they could have been out of a packet. Don't wanna be judgmental here. Don't wanna make any snap judgments, but I'm excited to try it. The only sad thing is like I said, they came out warm and they've kind of cooled down now. So that's just something I'm gonna bear in mind when I'm eating it. Like it's not at its full potential right now. Pretty standard, to be honest. Like tastes like a scone, pretty decent. It's got Rodder's clotted cream, which is like quite like a standard like cream to use. Yeah, it's not bad, not good.
It's nothing extraordinarily special or anything. It tastes fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But if I'd been paying any more than what we paid, I think I would be a bit disappointed. But it's fine. It does the job.
Yeah, so that was one of the little donut, I think they're called beignets. It's a little bit soggy, to be honest, and like the jam inside was a bit flavourless. It just was kind of like eating like sweet dough. It was like nice if you're sort of into sweet dough, but like it just wasn't it.
I'm not a fan. It's actually quite soggy, like the bottom of it is wet, weirdly, and it's made everything inside go a bit like soggy and weird.
So we have the little vanilla cheesecake slice and the chocolate cupcake left. I'm starting with the cheesecake slice. Libby just made the astute observation that it looks like it's kind of been cut off. So it's kind of like a bit of a weird shape. It's like what would you say? Like a oblong? Rhombus, maybe? I don't know. We're looking forward to it. Looking forward to trying it.
It tastes fine. It tastes very similar to like, you know, when you get like a Tesco's cheesecake or a Sainsbury's cheesecake, it just tastes like that. There's no like the base is quite like again, it's maybe a little bit soggy, kind of similar to the donut. You've not got that like crumbly base that's like one of the things that really makes a good cheesecake.
Yeah, the cream's like really strong. It's quite like an overwhelming flavour, to be honest. I'm overwhelmed with flavour. It's definitely shop bought, you can tell. It's just like a little sort of cupcake you get from like Tesco or Sainsbury's. But it's like fine. I think the cream is just like so chocolatey. It's almost like tastes like cocoa powder. It's that sort of vibe.
Yeah, the icing is quite overwhelmingly sweet. Like it's sort of quite sickly sweet tasting. Not really a fan of cake like that, so I'm probably going to leave it actually.
Okay, we're done with the afternoon tea. We've gone for a little stroll around St Katharine's Dock. It's very pretty around here. And now we're ready to give our final tea score. If you're new to the channel, the tea score, TEA, T for taste, E for experience, and A for affordability. Let's start with T for taste. Overall, I would say it started strong. Like the croque monsieurs were like really decent, like a nice change from the standard like cucumber sandwiches. But then it kind of slowly got worse and worse. Like the scones were like nice, but like quite average. And then the sweet treats just were all a bit like not there, a bit odd. Like the beignet donut thing wasn't great. The cheesecake wasn't great. So I think everything considered, I'd probably say 4 out of 10, like below average, I would say.
So E for experience. We've actually got quite a lot to say on this because there were a couple of different things that happened. Connor dropped a knife on the floor and picked it up and it was just covered in hair and dust, and he did a little video, so I'll put that here. But it just showed that like the floor obviously hadn't been cleaned, and I did also mention earlier that when we first sat down, like there was still like sugar on the table. It didn't look like the table had been cleaned compared to some of the other places we've been to. It's obviously not to the same standard, but we've paid a very different price at some of the different ones we've been to, so you can't really compare that. But anyway, overall, what would I give it? Maybe even low as a 2 out of 10. I just think that was probably one of the lowest areas that we would rate, so yeah, only a 2.
A for affordability. So as we said, this is one of the most affordable afternoon teas in central London. It was, I think, £22.45 per person, which is like well below the average price you'd expect to pay for an afternoon tea. It's also like so central. Like even when I look across now, the Shard is there. We can see the Tower of London just through there. I think it's, if you're looking for like a casual, like quite cheap afternoon tea, like it does the job. So I'd say in terms of the score, like 8 out of 10. Like it's really, like you can't beat it for price and for area. So overall, Café Rouge scored 14 out of 30, which is actually one of our lower scores for this year. Even though the price point was like amazing, like it definitely is one of the cheapest afternoon teas in central London, the quality wasn't quite there for us. We were kind of saying afterwards, an afternoon tea should feel really special and it should feel like an event. And I think if you just pay a little bit more, you could get a much more premium afternoon tea in like a similar sort of area. Especially when you compare like £22.50, like you could probably get a really decent lunch or meal in central London for that as well. So yeah, but anyway, like and subscribe if you want to see more of our videos, more of our reviews, and see you next time.